Formula One fans, this is the Formula One News Hour. I'm your host, Jonathan Steele, and we are back in Las Vegas. Yes, Las Vegas, where all the gambling goes on. So if you want to do gambling, now is the time. Don't get into gambling, folks. I've had a few friends that have done that. Not a good outcome for their lives. Anyway, this course is 3.8 miles long. It's mostly, in fact, it is a street course. And for the second year, we're going to have it in Las Vegas. Didn't hear a lot this year about, last year we had lots of complaints about ticket prices, though I have heard that drink prices here on this Grand Prix this year are ridiculous. But pricing does tend to be ridiculous in Las Vegas anyway, especially for the folks, the regular military folks like you and me and everybody else that's listening to this podcast, listening to this podcast or watching this podcast or both. Of course, we found out this week we've got a decent following in Sweden, so we want to welcome all our fans in Sweden to the Formula One News Hour. This particular race, by the way, is being, how would you say, it's actually being run at midnight here in Austin, Texas, and 1 o'clock in the morning in Las Vegas. And of course, the reason the folks are doing this is to cater to, yes, you've guessed it, the European audience. They're much more important than the audience here in the United States. Anyway, we're not going to get into that. We're going to leave that alone. We do have some things that we are going to get into, and first, of course, is qualifying. Quite a bit of, I would say, controversy during qualifying. Not really controversy, surprising would be the statement of the day. The biggest surprise, I guess, is Mercedes, strangely enough, at number 1 and number 10. Position 1 and 10. I'll give you a guess who is back there in 10th place. You guessed right. Yeah, it's the brilliant new driver for Ferrari next year, Lewis Hamilton. What's going wrong there? I don't know. But Lewis, like I said, this whole year has not been what he was last year, and last year he's not what he was the year before. Why would that be, folks? Why would that be? Would it be the car? No, it would not be the car. It would be because Lewis now is 40, 41 years old, 42 years old, and it's hard to compete with those young kids that in their early 20s, middle 20s, when you get to be that old in sports. Yes, I know you might say, well, Formula One drivers really sportsmen, sportswomen. The answer is yes. You've got to be extremely fit to be a Formula One driver or drive any type of race car, for that matter, for a long period of time. So yes, they are sports people, and like all sports people, as they age, reflexes become slower. Not by yours and I standards, our reflexes don't. But these guys, they're living on the edge the whole time. And so what happens when your reflexes are just a little slower, your brain goes, be careful, you might have a wreck. Yeah, I know, they don't think about that. Of course they think about that. And so that's what happens as you get older, especially for those drivers that get married, have kids, or even if they have kids and they're not married, then they're going to start thinking about all those things, because the first thing that happens after you become a parent is you start thinking about, I better not die, I've got responsibilities now. So anyway, big surprise there. The other thing for Ferrari, of course, is Carlos Sainz ends up in the front row next to George Russell. And of course, we all know that Ferrari made an incredible, what I think is probably one of the best personnel moves in the history of Formula One this year, when they decided that Carlos Sainz just wasn't good enough and they needed to replace him with, you guessed it, Lewis Hamilton. Of course, I'm being facetious. That was the dumbest move in all of Formula One in a lot of years. That's about on the par with me keeping Esteban Ocon, the Haas folks, getting rid of either of the current drivers and putting Esteban Ocon in their place. Of course, Ollie Beerman is going to be with them next year. That's a smart move. But Esteban Ocon, not what I consider to be the best teammate in the world. So anyway, we're getting ready here to go for the formation lap. But first, I believe we're going to have the. And I've changed my camera around a little bit. And for those of you who might watch me regularly. Where's your English, John? You'll notice that my backdrop has changed, courtesy of Kira Bowling. I'm working on the lighting, so I apologize for that. As they go through, they've got a very, very nice. I'm actually watching this on the Spanish channel, by the way. I don't speak Spanish anymore. We've got the 3 tires. We're not expecting any rain, so we've got soft, medium, and hard. Hard yellow wall, medium, hard white wall, yellow medium wall, and red is the soft wall tire. So as we look now, we're going to get the lineup, the starting grid as we go. Valtteri Bottas, 19th. Franco Colapinto, going to talk about him in a minute. Next to him, Alex Albon, 17th. Lance Stroll, back where Lance Stroll always is. It's kind of rumors about Lance Stroll. And then we've got Fernando Alonso in 16th and Sergio Perez in 15th. Joe Granu in 13th. Liam Lawson up there in 14th. Another good showing from Liam. Esteban Ocon in 11th with Kevin Magnussen in 12th. And then we've got Nico Hulkenberg in 9th. And then, as I mentioned, Hamilton in 10th. Yuki Tsunoda, another funny story about him this week, 7th. Oscar Piastri, 8th. Max Verstappen, there's a surprise, back in 5th place. I don't think he's going to finish there, folks. And right behind him, Lando Norris. 3rd place, biggest surprise, I guess. And next to Lewis Hamilton is Pierre Gasly in 3rd, Leclerc in 4th. And then the front row, it's your friend and everybody's friend who loves George Russell on the pole and Carlos Sainz right next to him. So, we have to say the skies look clear in Las Vegas. Of course, we can't see the sky because it's dead of night, but we do have lots and lots and lots of bright lights. Now, let's go back and talk a little bit about Franco Colapinto, because he crashed again and had a really nasty crash, some 50 Gs. So he was taken off to the medical center for checking, but he had a very nasty crash, and that's 2 races in a row. And just a warning to Franco, you're an incredible driver. You are amazing, okay? But Logan Sargent thought that he was amazing, but he kept wrecking. And when you start costing the team too much money and you're not scoring points, I know you scored some points. In fact, you scored more points already than Logan Sargent in the whole time he's there. But beware. They won't put up with it too long. Ask Mick Schumacher, who was with Haas, and that's really slow getting this formation lap going. Everybody's starting on the medium tires, by the way, with the exception of Perez on hard and Alonso soft, and then Bottas and Colapinto on hard. So anyway, now I get to look at the Spanish commentators, which is very good. I've never seen. It says that they are the official broadcaster of Formula One. Of course, they, like everybody else, get their feed from Sky Sports, who has the worldwide rights to this. So interesting with Max Verstappen coming up here in 5th place. So a fairly big surprise there. He looked pretty good in the free practice sessions, and it just didn't look like he was putting everything into it. His car, I think he was about half a second off first place by the time qualifying had completed. So, like I said, kind of a surprising turn of events right there for Verstappen, of course, who won this from pole last year. I'm going to probably say that it's going to be a big night for Max Verstappen, because all he has to do to become world champion tonight, doesn't matter where he finishes, as long as he finishes in front of Lando Norris. Of course, Lando Norris would like to have something to say about that, but quite frankly, I don't think Lando Norris is going to have anything to say about that at all. There have been a number of drivers brushing the wall, kissing the wall, and using the runoffs during practice and qualifying. And of course, like I said, Colapinto had a pretty nasty wreck. If you follow me on Instagram, you'll have heard the funny story about Yuki Tsunoda getting held by immigration, which I think is just a joke, right? We let everybody, we've got murderers, vagabonds, all kinds of thieves, rapists, everybody. Oh, you can just walk across the border, along the Texas border, California border, all of those border states. Arizona's one. But you can't fly in your private jet and go through the immigration in pajamas. They will see you as a serious threat to the United States. We don't care if you're a good citizen of Japan, wherever you are. You come in like that in a private jet, in your pajamas, you're a threat to the United States, and by jolly, they will get you. They will get you and put you in a room for 3 hours and make you suffer. And I've just seen a picture there of Toto Wolff as they're coming up to finish the formation lap. Now I've got a bone to pick with Toto Wolff. You know why I've got a bone to pick with Toto Wolff? Toto Wolff gave Haas all kinds of, Gunther Steiner, all kinds of grief for letting Mick Schumacher go. Mick Schumacher he's good enough and he deserves a place in Formula One. We're going to bring him on as our reserve driver. If he really thought Mick Schumacher was that good, why isn't he George Russell's teammate next year? Oh, maybe he's just not good enough. Okay, so we're getting ready here for the start as the final cars come up here. Where is the emergency car? Now we still got 3 or 4 stragglers to come in. But really, Toto Wolff gave Gunther Steiner all kinds of hassle over the fact that he let Mick Schumacher go. And he let Schumacher go for the same reason Sargent had to go. He wasn't doing anything for the team other than costing them a lot of money. As we watch the emergency car, the green flags, we got the lights, 4, 5, and off, and away we go. Now let's see what kind of job goes on here as we come up down the straight. We've got 1, 2, 3 in order right now. Am I seeing Max Verstappen already up a spot? Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. No, still everybody's in order. George Russell is in order, and Carlos Sainz actually right behind Carlos Sainz. It looks like, yeah, the second Ferrari of Leclerc got past Pierre Gasly. If you remember, Gasly was in 3rd place. He's now in 4th place. 1, 2, 3, 4, and of course Verstappen in 5th, followed by Lando Norris, and behind him it's Hulkenberg. And then of course Piastri. So we've got off and into the first lap, and we don't have any incidents to speak of as we watch some jockeying for positions going on further in the back of the field. So it's so far which I'm sure all the drivers are happy about, a fairly uneventful race. And we will be coming up for the completion of lap 1 in just a moment. You know, one of the things that the little controversies, you know, you can't go a week off or whatever in the Formula 1 without having some controversy, right? So it turns out that Ferrari and McLaren have put this layer of wood underneath the plank. The plank is, you know, when you watch a Formula 1 car and you see all kinds of sparks coming out of the back, that's a kind of a metal piece of metal that runs the full length of the car. It's really part of the backbone of the car, and it's got to be a certain height, that piece of metal, off the ground. And so what they've done is they've added a piece under that, and what that does, of course, is create as we've watched them now on lap 2 enabling DRS, but what that does is it creates more suction underneath the car, and that's how they've been getting the speed. So naughty boys, and that has been, excuse me, I'll deal with my allergies, that has been removed from the cars. So it's going to be interesting to see what effect, if any, that has as the race moves on here. Leclerc now is up into second place. So he's past Gasly and he's past his teammate. My guess is he's past his teammate, team orders. Remember, Carlos Sainz is a second-class citizen at Ferrari. He might be a better driver than Leclerc, certainly right now a better driver than Lewis Hamilton, but in Ferrari's eyes, sorry, not good at all. As we watch Verstappen is about to put the move on and get out of fifth and into fourth, getting past Pierre Gasly. So right now we've had really very little movement at all other than Leclerc. At the front, at the back end, we've still got Colapinto, Bottas, Stroll, Albon, Perez. What is Red Bull going to do with Sergio Perez? They're stuck between a rock and a hard place because, let's face it, they need and like money, right? And Perez brings lots and lots of that, but they also want points for the championship, for the Constructors' Championship, and he's not bringing that, which is really, really not good at all. You know what? He made a believer out of race control, Joe Granu Lawson incident, leaving the track and gaining an advantage. Whereas Lawson's all the way up in 13th. Joe Granu got past Lawson, I think. So I didn't see that. And so they'll make him give that position back. But where was I? I was on I've totally lost where I was. We'll get back to that in just a moment. One of the hazards of, you know, being old and trying to multitask. Anyway, Gasly now he's maintaining faith. As we watch, Leclerc is about to put the move on to George Russell. So Leclerc is having a really nice drive. Other than the fact that, like I say, his teammate was probably told to let him pass because, you know, he's a citizen non gratis, as they say in Ferrari. Yes, I know you're very good, but we've got Lewis coming. Turn 14 incident. Don't see that. Leclerc's got the fastest lap, and he's right on the bumper of, well, they don't have bumpers, but he's right on the back end of Lewis Hamilton. So, yeah, I know what we were talking about. We were talking about no further investigation for Lawson and Joe Granu. So we were talking about the predicament that Red Bull finds themselves in with Checo Perez. And I was about to tell you, what made them a believer out of him. And what it was at Abu Dhabi, 3 years ago, 2021, I think. And he came from last place to first, right? So they thought they had a real genius on their hand. Now, don't get me wrong, Checo Perez is a good driver, but now he's like what I was talking about Yuki Tsunoda, where I said he's a middle-of-the-road driver. That's what he is. He's a middle-of-the-road driver. He's always down there in the middle, somewhere between 7th and 8th and 15th. That's what I call a middle-of-the-road driver, as we now watch Verstappen get past Pierre Gasly, and now we're watching Leclerc try to get past. Is he going to do it? No, he doesn't. Is he going to get here? Yes, he will. No. Very nice racing going on right now, folks, as Leclerc is really putting the pressure on George Russell. And, of course, what's going to happen is George Russell is probably going to have some little mishap, because that's when George Russell is fighting hard. That's what George Russell does, which could one day be the undoing of George Russell. I mean, I hope he doesn't get hurt. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about as far as Mercedes keeping him as their number one driver. There's too many really, really good drivers. And of course, they've hired one to be his teammate for next year. But there's too many really good young drivers out there now for these teams to really think about hanging on to a non-performing driver. In fact, the team principal at Red Bull was talking about that during this week, where he said, we've really got to think hard about the drivers now, because we've got so many really good up-and-coming Piastri incident. I didn't see an incident with Piastri. Anyway, we've got so many really good, maybe 8 to 10 young drivers out there that really deserve a position to race in Formula One, because they are, in actual fact, better than what's out there. So this is a business, and like anything else, you've got to do what's best for the business. Talking about what's best for the business, folks, I want to encourage you guys to use the come on, Jonathan, spit it out. Use the services of our sponsors. That's what I'm trying to say. Or support our sponsors. I'd like to start, of course, with Technology, a small data center. All things technology, actually. They're more than a data center. They do co-location. They've got private cloud, public cloud, disaster recovery services. You name it, and that little company does it all. They have some really talented and very well educated folks. In fact, most of them are engineers, I believe. So if you need anything technology, go to Thenology.com. That's Thenology.com. As we're watching a restart here of the race and watching Leclerc get by, and just George Russell, don't remember I said George Russell will tend to mess up, so he came very close to wiping out on the wall. So anyway, another one of our good sponsors. These folks have been with us since the beginning, guys. Is Moms for Liberty, and I think Moms for Liberty has got to be really happy about the recent elections, because their whole focus on life is to really get you guys, get the parents and even grandparents, get everybody involved in educating our kids on what they should be educated on. Like math and science and all geography, all the things that really help them when they get over their education period in their life and grow on and be productive adults. Instead of why does a 4 or 5 year old need to question what his agenda is? They don't. And so with the election of the Trump administration, I'm sure the folks at Moms for Liberty just really are back there clapping, because now they'll see they've got help in doing this, and I'm sure that some of this stuff, Trump's new education minister, oh, by the way, he's going to do away with the education department, just let the states take care of education. So anyway, get out there, help Moms for Liberty, momsforliberty.org, join a chapter, create a chapter, but get yourselves involved, help them help you. That's momsforliberty.org. And finally, of course, our Give, Send, Go. They've been a lot of help to a young man that's been wrongly prosecuted, in my opinion, for for a death that happened on the subway when a guy went crazy on the subway and going to kill everybody, and this young army veteran stepped up and helped him out. Now he finds himself being prosecuted for murder, which is totally wrong, and it's going to affect everybody wanting to get out there and help somebody. And as we watch, who is that? That is, I believe, it is. Is it? Yes, it is. It is. All of a sudden, we've got the Aston Martin. I guess that is. No, it is. It is Lewis Hamilton trying to get past Piastri. Hamilton in 9th now, and Piastri in 8th, but he did not manage to get there. But anyway, so get back to help going, and this young man needed help, and Give, Send, Go, crowdfunding entity, stepped up to help this young man, because other crowdfunders in there wouldn't do it, because they censor who they're going to help, and if they think you're wrong, you could be totally right, but just if whatever they think, then they're not going to help you. That's not going to happen with Give, Send, Go. Give, Send, Go is going to help you no matter what your situation, no matter your religion, politics. Just when you need crowdfunding help a friend, help somebody like this young man in New York, or maybe you just want to get some money and start a business. Please go to GiveSendGo.com. That's GiveSendGo.com. And let's see, while we've been talking, I don't know what's happened to Leclerc, because in the last 2 laps, Leclerc has gone from challenging for the first position to down to 3rd. And now he's who's this? What's going on? So Verstappen is now challenging Leclerc, and Verstappen is past Leclerc. So Verstappen is now in 3rd position. Remember at the beginning of this, I told you I didn't think that's where it was going to end, and it certainly isn't going to end that way. So anyway, the last thing we want to do, while we're doing little promoting folks that help support us, I want to promote somebody that doesn't help support us. We want to help support him in the endeavors and his foundation, of course. That is Sir Jackie Stewart in the race against dementia. Jackie's longtime wife, I think they've been married like maybe 60 years, certainly more than 50, 60 years probably. And she, Helen, his wife Helen, of course, is a dementia sufferer, as we watch. Actually, Hamilton now has got past Piastri and got himself up to 8th position. But anyway, please go to raceagainstdementia.com, raceagainstdementia.com, and donate some money to Sir Jackie Stewart's foundation. He is on a tear, on a mission to help the world stamp out and get rid of dementia. Please help him in doing that. It would be greatly appreciated. Okay, let's get back to the Formula One race, folks. That's what we're here for. Okay, Russell is still leading. He's got a 5-second lead now. So something terrible has happened to those Ferraris. Well, at least to one of them. Leclerc now is about 3-4 seconds behind Verstappen. Norris is up to 5th now, so he was 6th. So Gasly's the victim of all those passing. If we look at the bottom end, Alonso now is dead last. Calapinto is one above him, and Bottas is still in 18th, with Stroll in 17th and Alex Albon in the Williams end. Liam Lawson has just dropped by, and they're bringing Norris in for the pits. This cannot be a pit for tyres. We've got Leclerc in the pit, so maybe these guys are struggling on the tyres as we watch Lando Norris come in. And the other Ferrari, is that right? Yeah. So now we've got, are they leaving or coming in? Oh, they're leaving. Sorry. So we got the Ferrari and Norris heading out. And whoa, have they dropped back all the way back? Leclerc 16th and Norris 17th. So something strange going on there. As we watch Verstappen now, he is going to be up into 2nd place here in just a moment. Is that guy just not? But I always thought that car was better this week than what it showed. And whoa, Piastri's got a penalty, 5 seconds. I don't know what for. That's just a 5-second penalty for false start. Interesting. So they thought he had a false start. As we watch Verstappen now take over 2nd place from Carlos Sainz. So Verstappen now just 7 seconds away from being in 1st place. And he's come up from 5th. So as they decide to bring Piastri in, so a bunch of people changing tires early on a medium tire. These medium tires should be good for at least 15 to 17 laps, and we're on lap 11. So yeah, very interesting stuff. Carlos Sainz in for tires. Hamilton now is up into 3rd. All of this is going on, of course, because of tire stoppages. So when it all gets back to normal, then they're doing the 5-second. I wondered why they were taking so long on Piastri, but he had the 5-second penalty that he had to serve, so that's going to put him all the way back there. In fact, I see him in 17th now. So, you know what, folks? We're always trying to help out Kira Bowling, our all things technical producer, everything that makes all of these, makes me sound good, makes me look good. Well, she tries to make me look good. That's not an easy thing to do. And so we're going to take a quick break here, and I will be back in just a few moments. So we are going through tire changes as we just watched Verstappen come in, get new tires, and now they are bringing in George Russell, lap 13. So these tires obviously not holding up as they should on this track, which is, as we've noted, a street course. So obviously they're not behaving well if we're changing mediums out on lap 13. So as we're going through this, folks, of course now we have a new leader. It's probably it's Lewis Hamilton, but as the tire changes go through, they will all drop off back again. So right now Max Verstappen is about 6 seconds behind George Russell. He's currently in 5th place behind his teammate Perez, who has not stopped for tires. When he stops for tires, he'll drop back into that 14th, 15th position. And of course, Hulkenberg has not stopped yet, and they're showing him currently in 3rd position. You know what I'm thinking? A couple of races ago, Liam Lawson was really battling everybody and getting himself all the way up through cars and making his way up into point scoring positions. I'm not seeing Liam Lawson battling his way up like we did those few races he was in. And I know that the folks at Red Bull, he drives for YB, which is the junior team for Red Bull, and will be driving for them next year. But I think they've told him, listen, we're not too interested in you scoring points right now. What we're more interested in is you developing into a really good driver, and a driver that's not going to piss off the rest of the drivers that are out there, because he successfully, made enemies of Alonso and Checo Perez and a couple of others. And 19 years old or 20 years or whatever he is, he's a young kid anyway. They probably told him, just take it easy, slow down a little bit. Just make sure you get that car all the way through the race. Don't bang into your teammates, and just make sure that you drive a nice clean race and make everybody happy. As we watched Lando Norris just go past Magnussen for that 7th place. Verstappen is ahead of both Ferraris now, legitimately, because both Ferraris have stopped. Perez has not. Hamilton, what the hell, man? How many places have I lost? Let's see. You haven't lost any places, Lewis. You're right. In fact, you've gained one. You're in the 9th position. You started off in 10th. Yes. And when everybody else started changing their tires, Lewis, you were in 9th position. So you're about where you're supposed to be. So let's see. Verstappen is going to be behind. He's going to be about 7 seconds. So he's made up about 3 or 4 seconds in the last 3 laps on George Russell, which means that car he's got is behaving very, very nicely for him. So anyway, let's see what happened. Yeah, Hulkenberg, he's dropping off into the pits, so one of the last guys to get into the pits, and everybody now, with the exception of Magnussen, as we watch Hulkenberg drop all the way down to 14th, 15th. So the last guy to pit, and incidentally, he started on hard tires, so maybe he doesn't have to pit, you know, for another, I don't know, let's see, we're 15 or 50, maybe he can go another 8-10 laps there and stay out there as long as possible. You never know, he might catch a break with a safety car or something like that. But right now, everything seems to be follow the leader. We don't have anybody, well, we do. Verstappen now has got, and like I said, that car's got real oomph in it, but Verstappen now has DRS on his teammate, so that's going to change very quickly because they'll give team orders for Perez to let Verstappen through. So let's see, at the bottom end we've got Lance Stroll in dead last now. Gasly radio, what's he saying? Nothing. Well, he is, but they're not going to tell us what it is. So Lance Stroll now is in dead last. You know what, I heard some rumblings during the week, and you know, you can never tell, especially with AI, right? People generating these fake news stories. But I heard rumblings, a couple of them, so I don't know if they're fake, that Lance Stroll may call it quits at the end of this year. Whoa, somebody's bellowing out a lot of smoke, or somebody's tearing up a lot of smoke. That would be Gasly. What's he doing? Hamilton, fastest lap. Gasly is coming in, I guess, for tires? Yeah, he's coming in for tires again. I thought he was one of the first to do tires. So that puts Gasly all the way back, almost dead last. It's moved Liam Lawson up. They're going to retire the car. So Gasly is out of the race. That's a shame. He had a great qualifying, great practice, and it looks like he is out of the race. And I'd love to be able to tell you why. One, I don't listen to the races when I'm doing the podcast. I just watch and then do the podcast from what I'm seeing and whatever's on the screen. So you know, when it's boring, what am I going to think about? What am I going to say? Funny, I never seem to run out of things to say. Well, occasionally I do, but not very often. Anyway, back to the new boys on the block. So Colapinto right now is up in 12th. His teammate, the number 1 driver for Williams, is in 14th. So Colapinto, if you remember at the beginning, I said had a really, really nasty impact with the wall. And actually, I was reading even yesterday that they let him sleep overnight and then see if he was going to be able to get in and drive. As we watch Gasly's in the pit, I just saw one of the Williams peel off. Oh, it's Colapinto. I was going to say peel off then, go into the pits and see what's going on as we watch the Ferrari battling Sergio Perez, the Ferrari of Leclerc, that is. And of course, between all this, I missed the fact that Verstappen got past Perez, and that's not a big deal because team orders would have told him to let him through. But now Verstappen's in second place, so he's 10 seconds right now behind. So getting stuck behind his teammate didn't help him. So it's going to be interesting to see. Hamilton, strangely enough, I suppose that's strange. Like you're saying, strangely enough, he's moving up. But yeah, he just hasn't done much this last. As we watch Hamilton behind Perez, because Perez is on hard tires that he started with, and Hamilton is on the new tires, and he's got DRS, so he will get past him, and along with Lando Norris. Yeah. So now Norris is up to 6th. Hamilton's in 5th. And that's interesting. Verstappen just lost a second on George Russell. So it's going to be interesting to see if George Russell can hang on to this. Gap to Sainz for Hamilton is 4.3 seconds. As we wait for the Red Bull now, we're going to watch Sergio Perez come into the pit lane, in, out, and a very nice pit stop. 2.5 seconds, 2.4 seconds. Very nice pit stop there for Sergio Perez, who now finds himself, like I said, when it happens, he'll be back down in 14th, 15th position, and he is in fact in 14th. And they're going to have a replay of Max Verstappen going past his teammate there. Like I said, Perez just let him past. There was no battle going on for that. As for some reason, we're on board looking at the back of Pierre Gasly's car. Oh, I see that. So something, it looks like, I would say he dropped a valve or something, because all of a sudden it just started bellowing smoke out of the back. So he either dropped a valve or an oil ring broke on one of his pistons, but now they're showing him out of the car. The car is retired, and his day in Las Vegas, it's not complete. He can go now and go do some gambling and bet on the other guys as we watch Hamilton battling Leclerc for that 4th position. So who knows, maybe Hamilton's come alive a little bit. He does have DRS. Let me know as soon as possible if it's going to be plan C, because it changes everything. That is Carlos Sainz. Give us 2 laps and we'll come back to you. Okay, so 2 laps, that's about 3 minutes. So we're going to have the computers do some quick calculations. You know, what a lot of people don't realize is there's a lot of communication between these teams in the different parts of the world and the home office. Most of it in the UK, of course, because with Ferrari it is in Italy. But yeah, it's really, really interesting, the teamwork that goes in to this. So not all decisions are being made on the side of the track. A lot of the decisions are being made back at the company engineering headquarters and stuff. So Alex Albon now is up into 9th. His teammate Calapinto is in 17th. But I don't believe, I guess, I don't know if Albon was one of those. I can't remember whether he's one of those that started on the hard tires. So the interesting thing is, folks, we're coming up until nearly halfway through this race. Verstappen has made up a second now back from George Russell. So those new hard tires are settling in and he's going to be in great shape. So we're going to help out Kira Bowling here and we're going to take another short break. We'll be back in just a moment. Okay, folks, we're halfway through, a little better than halfway, lap 27 of 50, and we've just seen a couple of tire changes going on. And in fact, Verstappen, running in second place, just got instructions to get some new tires. I'm trying to figure out how many stops we're on, because we're only at lap 27 and we've already had, for some cars now, and Carlos Sainz is now asking his team to change his tires. So that's two stops in 27 laps. That would mean, are we on for a four stop race? Is that what this means? That we're going through tires that fast? That these tires are only good for 10, 12 laps? That's crazy. But that's what it looks like. And this is the hard tire that everybody's on right now, with the exception of Perez, who's on medium. But he was on hard, now he's gone to medium. As we watch Lewis Hamilton trying to pass 2 Ferraris at once and was totally unsuccessful at it. But what did happen? They are going to bring Carlos Sainz in for tires. In fact, they're all coming in. We got everybody, Sainz, Hamilton, everybody except except Russell and Norris. So what we're seeing here, folks, is a bit of undercutting going on George Russell, and I believe as we watch, is that Verstappen coming out or Perez? So we're watching, that was a very fast pit stop by Hamilton, because we just saw Verstappen coming out ahead of him, but we saw Carlos Sainz come in. Come on, John, quit mumbling. I know your brain's not working fast enough today. Anyway, lots of stuff suddenly going on, and as we see, Hamilton now has dropped back to 6th, and Verstappen, and they've gone to another set of hard tires. So this tire situation seems to be causing some bit of problems, because even if Russell was to stop right now, and we're going to see a replay of something here, that would be Verstappen trying to hang on to his car. So those tires, it was Sergio Perez trying to hang on to his car through a turn there. So these tires are, and we're looking at the top of Sergio Perez's, especially his right front tire, looks like it has problems right now. And as we're watching Lewis Hamilton go through, what's happening here? Oh, he's dropped off for a pit stop. Well, that really interesting entrance to the pit lane there. Carlos Sainz, what happened? We were not ready. So wake up, guys, come on. So Carlos Sainz is not in. So Carlos Sainz got in the pits and his team weren't ready. That's very, very bad. To tell your driver, come on in. Oh, we're not ready. That's not very good at all. So the big question now is going to be when is George Russell going to pit? He's got to pit here as we watch Yuki Tsunoda trying to get by, who's only pitted once, trying to get past Carlos Sainz. I don't think that's going to happen. Sainz just came back out onto the track after being on pit road. Right now, Lando Norris is ahead of Max Verstappen, but of course he has not had his second pit nor has Leclerc or Russell. So it's going to be interesting to see where they fall out here in just a moment, because right now 15, 25, 26, 27, it's going to be very close. If Verstappen can make up 3-4 seconds here on these guys, Russell, if he doesn't pit soon, those tires are going to be costing him maybe 1.5 seconds a lap, and that's going to be dodgy for him maintaining the lead. So we might be in for some interesting stuff as we go past lap 30 of this 50-lap race. At the bottom end, Liam Lawson has quietly worked his way up, folks, to lap 12. Now earlier I saw Perez go past Liam Lawson, and Liam Lawson just moved over and let him by, like, come on by, sir, come on by. No battle for the position. So I think obviously, and Liam Lawson now is up into 11th, I was going to say, as some of the others come in to pit. Now Lawson hasn't pitted twice yet, I don't believe. So he'll drop back a bit when as the pit changes go through. So right now we've got Verstappen making up about a second Lando Norris, so that means he's making up about a second on Russell per lap here. So like I said, if current tire age 18, 20, 20, and then 2 and 3. So Hamilton actually was out a lap, and so Verstappen's in very good standing right now. So yeah, so Russell's doing well. Let's give George Russell the tire management trophy for today, because he's got out there on 19 laps. I don't know how much longer he can stay out there on those tires. But remember, there was one race a few weeks back, as we watch now, Verstappen move into third because Norris has gone into the pits. Hamilton's in fourth, and Hamilton has DRS on Verstappen. So that's a very interesting thing. Look, folks, he may have been listening to the Formula One News Hour. Although we're not going live this weekend. But anyway, let's say his team has been figuring out what I'm going to say. So come on, Lewis, you got to do something. You know, that guy over there at the Formula One News Hour is criticizing you all the time because he thinks your career's done and you keep trying to make it more. And folks, don't get me wrong. Lewis Hamilton, of course, is still a very good driver. I just think, at the beginning of this year, okay, as we watch pit changes and stuff go through, at the beginning of this year, I predicted there would be 5 to 6 drivers that were driving at the beginning of the year that would not have a seat in 2025. So far, I've got 6, and if they're bringing in Leclerc now, which puts Verstappen back into second place, let's see how far he ends up behind Russell. Looking at what's going on right now, what's happened? Oh, somehow Hamilton got past Verstappen. That's very interesting. Wonder what happened there. Whoa, there's some interesting stuff. Anyway, back to what I was saying. So far, and Hamilton got fastest lap. Where to go? Now Hamilton's in second. Verstappen is in third. So 2 Mercedes right now, first and second. Well, look at that, folks. Yeah. So the last time Russell was up here, and we'll get back to what I was saying about the number of drivers that were dropped out in just a moment. But the last time Russell was up here, if you remember, he scrubbed the tires off so much, the car was about 2-3 ounces light, so they took the win away from him. Let's say with this Max, just don't lose sight of our aim today. Yeah. Oh, so that's his team. Yeah. I'm doing my race. Okay. All right. So yeah, Max is one. He's about 4, 5, 6, 8, 9 seconds ahead of Lando Norris. So the team's thinking he just let Hamilton by. He knows what he's got to do to win the world championship today, and that's just be 1 place ahead of Lando Norris. Anyway, at the beginning of the year, back to what I was saying at the beginning. Now they're bringing in Russell, which is going to put Hamilton in the lead briefly, as the Russell comes in and out. Very nice pit stop, 2.4 seconds. And he'll still come back out in first position. So, barring something going really, really wrong, I can't see Russell. Now remember, folks, Russell can do it. He can self-destruct. But unless he self-destructs, I don't see any reason why he should not win the race. He's doing a very nice job. And Verstappen is clearly, he just he didn't fight for that position, which just means going through Hamilton, now they're pulling Perez in, that's going to drop him down to about 15th, 16th, and they're going to leave the teammate that he doesn't like to admit that he's a teammate. Very nice pit stop, by the way, at 2.4 seconds as well. But he's going to come out, 2-3 spots behind Liam Lawson. And what's very interesting now is Liam Lawson finds himself ahead of his teammate, Yuki Tsunoda. And Yuki Tsunoda, of course, thinks, Yuki Tsunoda came out this week and he says, I deserve a spot on the number 1 Red Bull team as Max Verstappen's teammate. I have news for you, Yuki, and I've said this a few times. You're a very good middle-of-the-road driver, but you have yet to podium. You qualify okay sometimes. You're not consistent. As we watch Calapinto go past, I'm going to think that's one of the Sauber cars. Who was it? It was Bottas, Valtteri Bottas. He just got past. So Calapinto driving a very nice race. Alex Albon out. I wonder when I missed that. What happened, folks? Alex Albon dropped out of the race. I didn't even see it. Well, that's not very good. That's a failure on my part, and I do apologize for that. Because one of the things that I'm not known for is making mistakes. I'm well known for being absolutely perfect in everything I do in life. As we watch now, who was that in the pits? That was, who was it? Hulkenberg, yeah, on the pit exit. Just kidding, of course. Anyway, let's see. They're saying that, but I don't see Verstappen worrying about passing. They're saying he's within striking distance of Hamilton, but I don't see it. But anyway, excuse me, my allergies are bad again. Let's see. Piastri and Norris are back in 6th and 7th. So, you know, like I say, Norris, in order for Max not to be crowned the world champion tonight, he would have to beat out Verstappen. So unless Verstappen makes a mistake, a big mistake, or something dramatic goes wrong with his car, then we can assume that he will take away the Formula One World Championship driver this morning. But anyway, he's comfortable right now. He's driving his race, so just wants his team to leave him alone, let him finish the race. He's only got 15 laps to go. 15 laps at 1.5 minutes a lap, about around there. So about 22 minutes, and the race will be over, and he will be riding high with his fourth, 22, 21, 22, 23, his fourth world title in a row, we might add. But it's been an interesting year, and one, of course, that I just don't buy the way everything fell into place. Yeah, I'm a conspiracy theorist, but by the way, folks, talking to conspiracy theorists, so Eddie Jones, he used to be head of Formula One. He was accusing Formula One of fixing these things to try and get Lando Norris the world title. He wanted a British driver with the world title, and you know hey, of course I'm British and he's British, and you know British are never wrong, right? Well, we're not always right. Let's clarify this. The British are not always right, but we're never wrong. Okay, so anyway, he thinks that there's some stuff going, because you know they did fire the guy, the race director, and he didn't resign or whatever. They fired him, and there's no real reason being given. And that's when Jordan came out and said, "Hey, we think you did this because he wasn't giving the preferences or the calls to Lando Norris." But yeah, it's been a strange year. But back to what I was saying earlier about the number of drivers that would be replaced this year, and what Christian Horner is saying afterwards. He's of the opinion now that the teams have really got to start looking at these younger drivers sooner and getting them involved sooner, because they are better. They are better. It's like every generation. Every generation. You know, if your parents haven't raised a child that is smarter than them and better at them at most things, they've not done a good job. Every kid, and evolution would stop. Every kid has got to be better, smarter, and everything than his parents, because that's evolution. And you can assume that the kids are going to take in and be taught, you know, the level of for want of a better word, intelligence. I don't think it's real intelligence, but for want of a better word, intelligence. Then you're going to think that the parent starts putting into that child all of the things that parent knows as soon as the child is able to start absorbing it, which of course is as soon as they're born. Babies' brains, as we watch a plastic bag go flying up into the air there as Hamilton takes over the fastest lap. Hamilton's catching his teammate. He was at 10 seconds and now he's at 8, and behind him there seems to be, with the exception of Norris and Piastri, those guys are all dropping back. Tsunoda now is ahead of his teammate Liam Lawson. Liam's up in 12th position. Still a very nice piece of driving by Liam Lawson without being in the news, right? That's the best thing you can do. The only time you want to be in the news in Formula One is if you won the race, right? Or you're second or you're third. You certainly don't want to be in the news for batting your teammate off the track and stuff like that. So, what's wrong with the allergies? But anyway, right now we've got 12 laps left to go, and that's not a lot going on. It's a lot of follow the leader right now, because we've got Alonso that has DRS Ocon and Magnussen with DRS on Lawson. But apart from that, as it stands, 69 points ahead. Verstappen is the champion. That's what they're telling me on the TV. One of the things I did this week that I'm trying to, because I'm sitting in front of the camera and microphone and everything, and then right behind me, behind the camera stuff, is the TV. And so to position it better so I could see, especially the ticker flap on the left-hand side, I've repositioned the camera and everything. And of course, trying to get the lighting right for Kira Bowling's new backdrop for me, which I absolutely love. But I'm not a lighting guy, I'm an engineer. But anyway, she's done an amazing job as we're watching now. Strange, 3 abreast there going into this corner with Sergio Perez. And his teammate was one of them. Liam Lawson has DRS on Sergio Perez. It's going to be horrible for Sergio Perez if Liam Lawson, which he's going to do, folks, he is going to get past Sergio Perez and put Perez back into 13th, and he's going to move up to 12th. So right now, Hamilton's up 8 places. Verstappen is up 2. They took that away from me as we watch Sergio Perez now. Who's he going to try and pass here? Oh, the Haas cars. Oh, I see. This is where they went. Whoa! How that didn't end up in some fender benders, because they don't have fenders, right? We call them wings in England, by the way. But like all the English folks listening, watching this podcast, I don't have to explain that to them. But in the States, folks, they call the wings fenders, and they call the boot the trunk, and they call the hood the bonnet. No, they call the bonnet the hood. So yeah, nice, interesting little differences and cultural differences, which are always nice to have. Hamilton is slowly eating into his teammates' lead. He's now got it down to seven and a half seconds, but he's only got 11 laps to make it up. Verstappen is 5 seconds behind Hamilton, so everybody knows what his goal was for the day: get a podium and get the world title. Not too interested really in winning the race per se. Not a lot of impetus to do that. The only impetus is to stay. And right now he is 6, 7, 8, and 12. So he's 20 seconds ahead of Lando Norris. So I don't see, unless, like I say, it's an accident or something like that, I don't see anything upsetting Max Verstappen's crowning this year. Verstappen, do you want me to try and keep them behind or what? Oh, he's talking about the Ferraris. That's interesting. I think you should, yes. Okay, so he's talking about keeping the Ferraris behind him. That's really, really interesting, right? So there's a team strategy going on here, because one of the things that's still in play is second, third, and fourth. I don't think, because Sergio Perez is never scoring points. Max is the only one scoring points for the team, for the Constructors' Championship. Perez is never up there. And so that's what happened to Liam Lawson. He dropped all the way back down to 17th. I don't know what happened there. I didn't see that. Interesting. He was up. Calapinto is down in 14th. His teammate's out. So he's going to be the shining light for his team today. He's driven a pretty decent race. Started dead last. He's made up 6 places. Perez has made up 3-4 places. But you know, the cars that from like 7, 8, 9 back, the cars are just a second slower each lap. Because if you look right now, Bottas, who is the dead last, the one first 24 drivers, the one's still running. Bottas is at least nearly a lap behind, right? So if you're looking at 3.5 miles, and it's 50 laps, so yeah, he's been losing a second and a half a lap. Battle for third. Max, of course, is going to he's going to want to keep that. He's going to want to keep that podium finish. It's always nice to have a podium finish. So the Ferraris are trying to team up and catch him, and they're taking away what the distance is. Oh, so they got DRS on him, but I think that as we watch him take off down the straightaway, I think the Red Bull car is better on the turns, and now we see Verstappen picking things up and actually eating away a little bit as we watch Leclerc. Is it? No, Carlos Sainz trying to knock Verstappen back there, but not able to do it at the moment. And seems to have a better car through the turns. So we'll see what's happening there. Maybe we're going to get some excitement now. We haven't really had a lot of excitement in this race, folks. In fact, I'd say we've had very little excitement. It's been a lot of follow the leader type stuff. It does seem to have gone by pretty quickly, but 9 laps to go. I don't think too much is going to change unless Carlos Sainz and Leclerc can get past Verstappen. But if one of them gets past, as we're going to see right now, is he going to do it? Yeah, he do it. Carlos Sainz got past him, but now he's going to have DRS on Carlos Sainz, so they're just going to go backwards and forwards for the position there. So Hamilton got the fastest lap, and he's now 5-6 seconds behind his teammate with 8 laps to go. As we watch Leclerc trying to get past Verstappen, but Verstappen's got DRS on Sainz, so I don't know how we can do that. But anyway, he put up a jolly good effort, and is still putting up a jolly good effort. It's going to be interesting to see whether Verstappen wants to get onto the podium, because I'm pretty sure if he wants on the podium, he can do it. If he's not too concerned about it, then we are where we are. Let's see, we're interesting to get all the way down to 60 miles an hour on some of these turns. On some of these turns, they're dropping down to 60. Yeah, and look at whoops, and Leclerc nearly lost it there, and that's just dropped him way back. He did a great job to hang on to that car right there, but now he's dropped nearly a second back. So that wasn't exactly what he hoped for, but it made him kind of think of it a little bit, I think. Verstappen still has DRS on Carlos Sainz, and all of a sudden we got a little excitement right here, but we got into a lull on the whole race. Hamilton's egging away Russell, he ain't going to catch him. Sainz is never going to catch Hamilton. Verstappen can get past Sainz if he wants to, I'm sure, and Leclerc if it can't get past Verstappen because they both got DRS. Norris is 12 seconds behind Verstappen. So, like I said at the beginning of the race, all Verstappen had to do to become world champion was to finish ahead of Lando Norris. Didn't matter where, just so long as he was ahead of him. So let's see what Verstappen decides to do here at the very end. Will he dead? But he doesn't have a problem. But Leclerc is still slowly dropping back a little bit there. But let's see what Constructors Championship, McLaren, Ferrari, and Red Bull in third place. So really, Sergio Perez. So what's going to happen now is Red Bull has to look at the money that Sergio Perez brings, and then the money he's cost them by not scoring points. Because the points is whoever wins the Constructors Championship gets a lot more than the guy in second place or third place. So they got to look at, okay, did we lose $10 million because Sergio didn't score any points, or did we lose $100 million? If you lose $100 million because he didn't score any points, then the decision is easy. Bye-bye, Checo. Hope you enjoyed your next... Checo could maybe get it right. And incidentally, I heard that Logan Sargeant did very, very well in an IndyCar on I guess it was last Saturday. He apparently did very, very well in an IndyCar race. So maybe Logan's got a good... I'm looking on the other side. They vote for driver of the day, and they're voting for Hamilton. Are you kidding? I'd give it to Russell. He got out there, he's led the race, he's kept everybody back, nobody's going to beat him. Verstappen is slowly going to, if he's not careful, going to find himself out of DRS on Carlos Sainz, and then that's going to put him in danger of dropping back to fifth place because Leclerc can get past him. If he doesn't have DRS, which he needs to pour it on a little bit here if he wants to maintain that fourth place, because otherwise he'll find himself finishing exactly where he started, which is fifth place, which I don't think he cares about. I really don't. I think that he's got what he wanted. He wanted another world championship. And folks, don't be surprised. You might hear it first on the Formula One News Hour. Do not be surprised if this is Max Verstappen's last year in Formula One. Yep, you heard it right here first. There's something I've been watching and reading, and some of this stuff coming out. This might be Max Verstappen's last year. He's got nothing else to prove. Winning Formula One championships one after the other, he doesn't care about being remembered as the greatest Formula One driver ever, because today's drivers can't get that title. Because they're go-kart drivers. That title's got to go to Fangio, Jim Clark, maybe Ayrton Senna's in that discussion a little bit, but really it's always going to be, for true Formula One purists, it's always going to be a discussion between Fangio and Jim Clark. And I think Max Verstappen knows that. Jim Clark still has a record that no one has broken. Think about that. And he did this in 1965. But he still has the record. He is the only driver to win the World Championship and the Indy 500 in the same year. The only one. Nobody else has done that since. And quite frankly, I don't think anybody else is ever going to do it again. No. So yeah, so the discussion for who is the greatest Formula One driver of all time will never be one of these modern day drivers, because they're not. George, just keep picking up the pace here. Yes, George, you have 5 laps to go, and Hamilton is only 5 seconds behind you, George. And let's see, Verstappen now is out of DRS, and Leclerc now has DRS on Verstappen. In fact, I see Leclerc hugging the back end of Verstappen's car. Now, Verstappen doesn't care, really, whether he gets past him or not, because it doesn't make any difference to him. It's not going to make any difference on the money. The only difference it could make is on the Constructors' Championship. But like I say, with Perez back then in 11th right now, not scoring any points. Colapinto's up to 13th now. Liam Lawson's still back there in 17th. But like I say, I think Liam Lawson has been given instructions about being a nice young man, be a gentleman. Okay? Let's see. So they're saying, can Carlos Sainz win this race? Well, let's see. Gap to Hamilton, 9.5 seconds. The answer is no. I mean, it's plain and simple. We got 4 laps to go, and he's 9.5 seconds back. So the answer is no. Sergio Perez in the Red Bull. What's happening to him? He is being passed by Sergio Perez. Is being passed by Alonso. Is that right? As we watch, is the Ferrari going to get? Yes, he is. He's going to get Verstappen on the inside. So Verstappen finds himself now back in 5th place, exactly where he started, and Norris finds himself in 6th. Like I said, at the end of this day, it doesn't make any difference to Max Verstappen. He's not bothered. And he's got DRS and he's not even using it. Interesting. So he's got DRS and he is not using it. What does that tell you? He just wants to drive his race, finish this race, and come out as world champion. And like I said, do not be surprised, folks. Do not be surprised if this is Max Verstappen's last year in Formula One. There's a lot of stuff happened this year that he absolutely didn't like and didn't enjoy driving in Formula One race. Did not enjoy the driving. He enjoys driving the car, don't get me wrong about that. He just did not enjoy the experience of being in Formula One. There was too many things. And like I said, I think one of them, everybody calls me a conspiracy theorist, but one of them I believe is the way that the races were managed. Let's put it that way. Let's put it, the way the races were managed for much of the second half of from the British Grand Prix on. So yeah, and if you look at this right now, you know, Mercedes haven't been anywhere in the last few weeks, last few races. All of a sudden, they're first and second, and then Ferrari right behind them, second and third, right? And then you got Max, and then what's behind that? Oh, we got the McLarens. So it's some of these things as we watch. I guess it was Hamilton taking a shortcut. Is he going to box? No. Hard to see what was going on there. Yeah, you've got Mercedes, Ferrari, then a single Red Bull, and then McLaren. That's nicely arranged, isn't it? Look at the bottom side. No, none of the two drivers are together. So, what we're doing here, I believe, probably is lining up who's going to get the money from the Constructors' Championship. Right now, McLaren is it. I don't know where it'll be as we get down to 2 laps to go. I don't know where it's going to be in 2 races from now. We have two more races to go. And now it's box. So they're going to run Lando Norris in now. Oh, fastest lap. That's what they're looking for there, fastest lap. Why? Because it's going to put him out of the top 10. Okay, think who is doing this? Oh no, maybe not. I know what they're trying to do. They're trying to. So he's 9 seconds behind Verstappen. He boxes. I have no idea, folks. I give up. I have no idea what they're trying to do because getting another fastest lap doesn't matter. Potentially. Not ending up, something go wrong and he doesn't end up in the top 10. Oh, wow, look at this, folks. Perez has just scored a couple of points for the team. He's up to 10th place. Way to go, Checo. As we watch Sylvester Stallone, is going to get to wave the winning flag for the Las Vegas Grand Prix. That makes me, I can tell you, there's not many things make me happy in life. The fact that Sylvester Stallone, wow, that was a fast pit stop, 2.5 seconds. Anyway, back to what makes me happy in life. Nothing makes me happier than Sylvester Stallone getting to wave the winning flag. But as we talk about winning, and we're coming to the end of here, we need to give another shout out to our sponsors. Moms for Liberty, helping your kids all they can. Get out there, go to their website, join a chat, become involved, make donations, get yourselves involved in the school boards, in making sure that your kids learn what's really necessary for them in life. That's momsforliberty.org. Momsforliberty.org. Guys, you need any type of technology in your workplace, you need Thenology. Thenology is a small data center in Austin, Texas, and you need them if you need co-location, you need private cloud, public cloud, disaster recovery. They have the ability to do all of that, so please give Thenology your business at thenology.com. And of course, Give, Send, Go, you can't help what happens to you in life, and sometimes bad things happen, and you just need a little extra help. And sometimes you just want to start a business or something, and so that's good things, and you need a little extra help. You need money, and the best place to go for that is to go to an entity that doesn't have any censorship, anything. They just want to help you out. That is GiveSendGo.com. GiveSendGo.com. And finally, shout out to Jackie Stewart. Folks, he's out there trying to fix the world in terms of helping people with dementia. So please go to racefordementia.com, racefordementia.com, make a donation and help out Sir Jackie Stewart and his organization. Right now, so we're about half a lap to go. And of course, as I said, Russell will win this race. Max Verstappen will win. He's ahead of Lando Norris by 26 seconds. Verstappen will win his World Championship. Ferrari and Mercedes and McLaren all divvy up the championship, Constructor Championship points together. So a very nice race driven by George Russell as he comes across the finish line, followed by a lapped car. Actually, I think it's probably Ocon, Esteban Ocon. Let's give credit to Lewis Hamilton. He didn't win, but he drove a very good race. Had a very good car as well, but had some good teamwork there on the part of his pit team because they did a very nice job of keeping him in that second, third, fourth position area as the Red Bull team celebrate their driver winning the World Championship for 2024. And like I said, folks, do not be surprised if this is in fact Verstappen's last year in Formula One. Could be just an idiot call or something like that, but I don't know. Max Verstappen is not a happy Formula One driver, let's say that. And he's been testing out a lot of different cars the last 2-3 months, and I know that, because he's come flat out and said he wants to do the Le Mans 24-hour race. Maybe, folks, don't be surprised if you find him in an Indy car. That would not surprise me at all. I think he wants to prove that he's not just a go-kart. I know, Jonathan, you should not say that. These are not go-karts. In my estimation, you're right, they're not go-karts. They're big go-karts. And it's like driving a go-kart. But I'm sure he wants to put his driving skills to a bigger test than just Formula One. I think that he really wants to prove to the world that he's more than a one-dimensional driver. And with his dissatisfaction in Formula One, don't be surprised. So there may be another seat come up here as I don't know who it is, comes up and congratulates Christian Horner on his driver winning the World Championship yet again. So folks, until next week, and oh, by the way, coming up, folks, this week is Thanksgiving in the United States. So to all of my US listeners and viewers and stuff, happy Thanksgiving. I hope that everybody has an enjoyable time with their family and friends. And like I say, it's a week. The nice thing about Thanksgiving is one of those weeks you get like 3-4 days off work, you know. Now, for those people that know me, they'll go, Jonathan, you can take a whole week off work if you wanted, which is true, but I don't want to. But I do enjoy the Thanksgiving week because, you know, it is taking time off work and not saying, well, why did you take time off? I know, we all have the vacations. But anyway, let's get back to closing it up for this week. Thank you to Kira Bowling for everything you do week after week and race after race. And of course on our Instagram. Please follow us on Instagram, guys. Kira puts out, takes some snippets from all these podcasts that we put together and put some snippets out there, and it's growing, and we're really thankful for that. So please take time and go to Instagram. And again, thank you again, Kira Bowling, for everything you do, and we will see you next week. This is Jonathan Steele with the Formula One News Hour saying have a great Sunday, folks.